Hello there, how are you? Welcome to Inside Edge Physiotherapy. My name's Uzela Hyog and I'm a strength and conditioning coach, an online personal trainer and also a physiotherapist. So I've got a special interest in the climber. I'm also a climber myself, although I look relatively big, a bit too big for a climber. I'm a boulderer, so I guess I like to just pull on things. Okay, but so this is almost like a follow-up really to a podcast that I recorded earlier this week, and the podcast is on SoundCloud at the moment, and what it's entitled is which rotator cuff exercise should I use to strengthen my rotator cuff? Now, this is off the back of a couple of articles I've been reading recently. Scientific articles about which exercises have been scientifically proven to constitute the best exercises to strengthen the rotator cuff. So in this particular podcast, which is online now, I spent 10 minutes really just talking about the supraspinatus muscle. So the supraspinatus muscle is a part of the rotator cuff. The rotator cuff is a group of muscles, okay, which help essentially to provide dynamic support and dynamic stability to the shoulder joint or the glenohumeral joint. So why is that important? It's important because most problems that we see around the shoulder, in one way or another, okay, the rotator cuff is implicated. Now, again, why is that important? If you're a climber, then you're likely to have a muscle imbalance by virtue of the fact that you've over-specialised in a particular sport. So for the climber, in particular, the posterior rotator cuff seems to be weaker when we look in the scientific studies, and also clinically when we see people in clinic on a regular basis. Okay, so what we spoke about, or what I spoke about rather, was the supraspinatus muscle. Now, in the climbing gym environment and also in bodybuilding gyms as well, to a certain extent, what you'll see people do, you'll see people holding weights and elastic bands, okay, and taking the arm out to the side like so. Okay, so this is called abduction. Okay, so now what this research did was it compared something called the full can to the empty can. So it compared doing an exercise like that with the thumbs towards the floor and the arm in internal rotation, like that. It compared that to the full can, which is with the thumb up towards the ceiling, like so. Now I can tell you something for nothing. Okay, doing the empty can is uncomfortable. And the reason why it's uncomfortable, okay, primarily is because you spin this bone in and around in this direction. So it turns it into internal rotation. What it does, it reduces the space in the subacromial space here. Okay, the subacromial space is a classic place for people to develop impingement type symptoms, i.e. it hurts, basically, because you're reducing the space. Whereas actually, when you pop your arm into external rotation, what you're essentially doing is opening up the space. Okay, and it's much easier to do. So what the research told us was this. Okay, you're much better off to do the full can exercise in what we call scarpation, okay, or the scapular pain. So rather than being straight out to the side and thumbed up towards the ceiling, as we see bodybuilders doing, and also a lot of climbers doing actually in gyms, you're much better off to be in that angle there, okay? That angle there is about 30 to 40 degrees, okay, off the midline. That's the midline, and you're about there. Turn your thumb up towards the ceiling, okay, and then crank it out. So it looks something like this, okay? So start off in this position, in the midline, bring it into about 30 degrees, thumb up towards the ceiling, and now crank it out. And this is the safest way, okay, to train the supraspinatus muscle, which is a part of the rotator cuff, okay, and also it generates just about the same amount of force, probably 8% less, okay, than doing it in the empty can position, but is less vulnerable and probably won't end you up in pain. Okay, so hope you've enjoyed that. There'll be more to come. Okay, and do subscribe to the podcast. I'm also on Instagram. We're on Facebook as well. And yeah, if you've got any questions or if you'd like me to cover anything in particular, then just drop me an email It's info@insideedgephysio.com. Okay, bye for now.